Welcome to AP Research. So I want to go over the distant learning syllabus. The first thing I want to make sure that you know is that this is a living document. So that means as we learn more about how to do this online teaching and online learning, this document may change. So this is not written in stone. Here we go. First of all, this class is part of the AP Capstone experience. This is the second class. You should have already taken AP seminar. In this class, you are going to design a plan for research. So this is a little bit different than you've done in the past. In AP seminar, you looked at other people's research. You looked at what they had done. You looked at different ways of thinking about the research that was already out there. In this class, you are going to look at other people's research and you're going to figure out what has not been done yet. And then you're going to try to do the research yourself to fill that gap. And we will talk a lot more about that later. But basically, you're going to find something that has not been done and you're going to try and do it yourself. And then you're going to write a paper about it and you're going to do a presentation. You're going to do an oral defense on your gap in your research. So it's really exciting. It's the kind of stuff you do in college. It's going to be, no matter what you do, it's going to be helpful for you in the future if you're going on to college. So I'm super excited. All right, for this section here, essential standards covered. I'm not going to read these to you. You are smart people. You can read them yourselves. But basically, these are the standards we're going to try and hit. If I were going to boil this all down, basically it is that you are reading critically, that you are able to express your ideas, and you are able to, both in writing and verbally, defend your thinking. So, onward we go. All right, as of right now, and again, this could change, but as of right now, this is what the district has said we are doing at the high school level. We have basically two types of schooling going on right now. We have synchronous class times, and these synchronous means that we are in sync. We are all doing the same thing at the same time. That's mostly going to happen through Zoom meetings. Okay. Then there's asynchronous class time. Asynchronous means that we all have stuff to do, but we can do it we don't all have to be doing it at the same time. You're working independently. So what the district has asked is that at the high schools, Monday and Thursday afternoons, 4th, 5th, and 6th period will be having Zoom class times. So this is synchronous, all of us together. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays in the afternoons, first, second, and third period will have their synchronous class time. So all of us together on Zoom during those class periods. And then Wednesdays, we have all 6 periods. So you're expected to attend all 6 periods. This Wednesday piece may change eventually to you only have to show up if you're requested, kind of like Tiger Time. But right now, we don't know that for sure. So as of right now, you are expected to attend on Wednesdays, all 6 periods. Then for asynchronous time, the independent work time, the expectation is that you are getting into Google Classroom first, second, and third period. You're getting into Google Classroom on Mondays and Thursdays in the mornings, and you are getting the work done in Google Classroom and turned in. On Tuesdays and Fridays, 4th, 5th, and 6th period are expected in the mornings to be getting into Google Classroom, doing your classwork, and turning it in. And this, again, this is independent. This is not through a Zoom meeting. This is just you are expected to get into Google Classroom and do whatever work are in those Google Classrooms, those periods during those times. All right. The remote learning expectations they're a little bit different, but they're very, very similar. We still have respectful, responsible, and engaged. Those are our 3 main learning expectations when we're in the building. Those things haven't changed a lot, but there's a couple little things here. Of course, we're going to treat each other with respect. Do not use inappropriate, offensive, or hurtful remarks, and that includes both verbally and visually. For as far as Zoom goes, you need to follow each teacher's guidelines for muting the microphone. I'm going to ask you to keep your microphone muted unless you have a specific question or clarification or comment that goes along with what we're doing in class. And of course, wear appropriate clothing for your Zoom meetings. Always always present your own work. In other words, do not plagiarize. Okay, if it's someone else's ideas or someone else's work, you should not be presenting it without their permission to do so. And then you need to give them credit. Anytime you're doing anything online, do not share your login or any personal information with anybody else. If one of your friends asks you to log into their Chromebook using your account because they can't remember their password, that's not okay. Do not do that. Always please make sure you are posting your work in the correct place and on time. For this class, that will be in Google Classroom. Everything we do will be through Google Classroom. Even if we're going to go to a different platform, such as Newsela or Actively Learn, the link for those will be in Google Classroom, and you will still go back to Google Classroom and click Turn In when you're done. So Google Classroom is the place for this class that you will be turning everything in. And seek out help, please. When you need help, ask for help. Smart people are not smart because they're born knowing everything. Smart people are smart because they ask questions and they get help when they don't understand something. So make sure you are asking for help if you need it. All right, for being engaged, be prepared, be to class on time. When we're Zooming, make sure you're getting to the Zoom meetings on time. Okay? If you're expected to have something done or have something during that Zoom meeting, make sure you have it. Actively participate in the learning. Keep the chat box in Zoom related to the lesson. Please do not have side conversations in the chat. The chat is a great way for students to be able to ask questions without having to use their microphone. So let's keep it where you are asking questions about what we're doing in class or answering someone's question about what we're doing in class. As a teacher, I don't have to be the one giving the answers all the time. If someone asks a question in chat and you know the answer, go ahead. Save me some time. I would appreciate it. Let's see. And while you're working at home, try to have a workspace that doesn't have distractions. Try to figure out where the best place for you to work is. If working in your bedroom is not what works best for you, if that video game player on your dresser is just too tempting for you, maybe sitting at the kitchen table with your Chromebook is a better option. Maybe sitting at the kitchen table isn't a good option for you. Maybe you have younger siblings, or maybe your aunt brings over your cousins during the day, and it's just too noisy, too distracting to be sitting at your kitchen table. Then maybe you do need to find a different spot, a den or your bedroom or somewhere. Find a place where you can focus. That's going to be really important for the beginning of this school year, for really getting off on the right foot here. All right, as far as grading goes in this class is a little bit different because not only am I your teacher, but I am also your proctor. Your pay for the AP Research College Board grade, for whether or not you get that AP Research College Board credit, it's based on two things. 75% of that grade from the College Board is your paper, and 25% of your grade is that presentation and oral defense. Now, because you're not taking a test like you have in other AP classes, you're not taking a test at the end. Your entire grade, AP grade, is on the paper and the presentation. That means I am your test proctor. That paper and presentation is your test. That is your AP test. So I cannot give you feedback grade-wise that would cause you to change what you would put in your paper. And I'll explain that more later. But what you need to know is your grade for Battleground High School in this class is based on the benchmarks of getting to that paper and presentation. So we'll be taking each piece of this paper and presentation in steps, and each step is going to be graded that you're doing it, you're understanding it, you're going to it. What I can't do is I can't necessarily assign you to do a section of the paper, and I can't give you an A, B, C, D, or F grade based on how well done your paper is, because that would be cheating. So you're going to see a lot of checkoff grades in this class, which is great in some ways because it makes getting a good grade in this class pretty easy, and not good in a lot of ways because even though I'm giving you grades on stuff, it doesn't necessarily give you the feedback that you want, which is why peer review is going to be a really big deal. You are going to get feedback. You are going to get a lot of feedback. You're going to get feedback from your peers. You're going to get feedback from your expert advisors. But the feedback that I can give has to be whole class feedback. I can't give you individual feedback. So I'll talk more about that as we go through the year, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand right off the bat how that grading is going to look. Again, we have 3 main platforms, digital platforms that we're going to be using here at the beginning of the year. Google Classroom, all assignments will go into Google Classroom. Everything will be turned in through Google Classroom. Class meetings will happen on Zoom. And then, of course, the AP College Board website is going to be a big part of your life as well. As far as Wednesdays go, I don't have a lot of information yet. What I'm hoping for is that Wednesdays is not going to be isn't going to be much new information. It'll be mostly really helping individual situations, individual things. This is going to be where I'm hoping we do a lot of peer reviews and those kinds of things. So more to come on that. Again, this is a living document. This is going to change. I've heard a lot of different things about how Wednesdays are going to look. It might end up being more like a Tiger Time thing where you only have to come if you need to, or it may be required. I just don't know yet. So more to come on that. All right. Other things we'll be using in this classroom. Hopefully, some of this stuff is not new information for you. We'll be using Google products like Docs, Slides, and Sheets a lot. You will be needing to use the public library databases for doing research. So you will need a public library card. Make sure you have a public library card. You can get one online through the public library. We will be using Actively Learn, Newsela, possibly some No-Red ink, maybe some Padlet, Flipgrid, WeVideo. If you are not familiar with some of those, that's okay. When we do get to those, we'll be walking through them together. It'll be all right. And then, of course, as technology changes, as teaching online changes, as we learn more about how students learn online, we will probably throw more applications into this list. So again, this is a living document. It will change. So don't be surprised. So there's the distance learning syllabus for AP Research. Hopefully it gives you kind of an idea of what you're getting into here. And again, don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions or concerns. I will do my best to answer them, and we will be trudging through this together. So take a deep breath. Don't worry about anything yet. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.